Okay. All right.
I don't want to pin it.
Hey. Can you do the?
She's so young.
3.
Hey.
Hey, y'all.
What the
hell? All right, we're about to start. So.
I'm too tall to be.
Hi guys, we are back with another episode of Broken Conversations. I know it's been a minute, but we're here and we're better than ever. It's Women's History Month, and it's really cool because we get to celebrate everything that it means to be a woman and everything in between. So, as you already know, Broken Conversations is a podcast that is meant to stimulate minds and break barriers. So today I had the opportunity of kind of fellowshipping with lovely women who are doing great things in the community and have amazing stories. Really quick, we're going to introduce ourselves really quick. Really quick. Like the quickest of the quick. So we can know who we're talking to today and have some really good conversation celebrating all things women.
Woohoo.
Who wants to start?
Okay.
Hi, my name is Alexis.
Hi, I'm Tamara. I'm Doris.
I'm Bernadine.
I'm Sanaya.
I'm Antiana.
I'm Nigeria.
Hello, I'm Cristalza.
I'm Tia.
Greetings, I'm Kaylin.
Hey y'all, I'm Amaris.
Hey, I'm Imani.
Hello, everyone. My name is Octavia Thomas.
Hey, everyone.
Y'all forgot about me.
I'm back here. I'm Jasmine.
And as you already know, my name is Nastassia Jambeer. So for this recording, y'all, this is going to be free-flowing, really just celebrating all things women, and the conversation could go anywhere that you guys want it to go. But I really want to talk about, like, what Black women don't get celebrated for on a regular. So this question is really for anybody that wants to answer. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier when we were saying what Black women have to go through on a regular, but what are some things that Black women are just notorious for? When you think of a Black woman, what do you think of?
Beauty.
What did you say?
Beauty.
What was that?
She said beauty.
Beauty. Oh yeah, true. Natural beauty.
Yeah.
I think we have a stereotype of being known as angry.
True.
And crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think what we
Extra.
don't get celebrated for is a lot of people call us strong, but they never detail out what strong entails.
Yeah.
So when it's us having to be single mothers, how being a mother by yourself, how does that make you strong? You know, like when we have to hold down our men, like that's us being strong, and I don't think we get enough credit for the strong Black woman that we have to be.
But in the same sense, I feel like, yeah, we're strong for those, but it's like, I feel like people see most of those things as negatives as far as being strong. Like, being a single mother, like, people look at it as a negative, but really that, like, builds you to a good person.
That's
So
what I think
like,
is something we should be celebrated
we
for.
don't get celebrated for, but really we get seen as a negative light in those aspects.
What about creativity? I know Black women are very, very creative. They make nothing out of something. We got some entrepreneurs in the room, so come on, y'all.
Okay, so
Speak on it.
like I said, my name is Amaris Clark. I am the owner of Devotion Beauty, which is a beauty brand that works to help women break unhealthy habits so that they can live successful lifestyles. And so basically when I speak on the meaning of success, I'm talking about not just like how much money you have, but your mental stability, physical stability, emotional stability, as well as if you are spiritual, your spiritual stability. And so what I really want to do, because of my history and like the things that I have been through and the things that I am struggling with, is really help women break these unhealthy habits, because it can like hinder them from reaching their full potential. So fear, for example, is an unhealthy habit that I feel like something that Black women suffer from a lot is just fear, because of our experiences and our trauma. And just even in history, when you learn about our history as Black women, what we have endured, like it instills a fear that you don't even know is present. Self-appraisals, like I don't know, I can't remember who said something about it earlier, but like someone walks past you and you have to adjust your hair because you become so self-conscious or whatever, just needing like approval from other people, and that's always because we're always on the forefront. We always have to be aware of people watching us and like being so quick to critique us. So it's just like small things. Well, that's a major thing, but like simple things is like such as those things. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Before we recorded this conversation, we had the opportunity to do an exercise that was called Lifeline, and it was basically highlighting all the really, really, really good parts in your life and then all the really, really, really bad parts in your life, and how it creates a lot of energy in your life that is good and bad and builds you up to be the person that you are today. So throughout that activity, what you guys get to learn about each other that you guys might have not known before? And I know some of us didn't get to share yet, but what were some similarities? What were some differences that you guys think that are constant themes in Black women, stories within Black women?
I'll say a lot of times you don't know what somebody's been through. And so when I've looked at each and every one of you, you guys are each beautiful, intelligent, and motivated young women that I aspire to grow to be like. And so like everybody has their own story, and it's important to value and validate everybody's not only opinion, but what they've been through. So I think it's important that we all have respect for each other, because each experience has brought us a new trait, a new characteristic, something that has made us stronger, as they like to say, but something that has like really influenced our future. And I think that we're growing, that despite what troubles that we've been through, that this experience is what's going to make us in our futures and what's going to keep us moving forward and motivated. So
Yes.
Did anybody else get anything?
What I learned tonight is that like we're more similar than different, if anything. Like our lives have different paths and different just instances, but most of the things that we went through, everybody was able to say, they were able to nod or, agree or, just have some common ground. So I just think moving forward that we should use those similarities to continue to build each other up. Because it's prevalent in our community that, we'll go through things, but we won't talk about it. And that's what continues the, generational curses, because we don't talk about it. So it is important that when we speak and just share, that we use those similarities as platforms and opportunities to continue to further the community.
I feel that.
Another thing too, like from hearing everybody speak, we all had similar like situations in our lives, and then it's like those situations created who we were today, but it doesn't define who we are, because we are here. Like a lot of us are first generation college students, a lot of us suffer from like family issues, yet we were accepted into Florida State University, and we are doing a FAMU, and we are doing amazing things. So we have to take those situations and kind of like use them to uplift other women, like what we are doing right now. So I think that was really important. It was something that I really picked up on.
Right. I think that's something I noticed in like everybody's story that was almost like a common theme, is that like we all went through a lot of traumatic stuff, but we always kept it silent, and we always hid it from everybody in our lives. We tried to make sure that when we go out in a day, no one knows that we're dealing with a mess in our personal lives. And I think it's important that we reach out to other Black women and let them know that it's okay, whatever they're going through, that they can do it, because a lot of the times you feel like you're fighting a battle alone, which is one of the worst parts of the battle, is that you're the lone soldier. So to know that there's other people who have fought that battle or who are fighting that battle with you is important.
So you touched on it like right on the head when you said that we handle a lot of things in private and in silence, and I think that in a big response in a bigger world, it kills us inside, because we're carrying so much weight on our shoulders, and it's like it's unhuman for somebody to carry so much weight on their shoulders and to think that they have to solve every single problem. But typically you see the Black women carry that load. So how do you guys think that silence is perpetuated by society, and what can society do as a whole, our society, the Black community, do to destigmatize talking about the problems that we go through and talking about uplifting Black women? How does that even look like? And I really want to get this from like maybe Doris, because I know that you have, you know, a lot of experiences, and we definitely want to get your insight. Yeah, it's like all people, wow, okay, let's God, did you tell?
So you want to hear from me?
First of all, can you re-say your question?
You shook her. Welcome to Broken Conversation.
Because the conversations are broken.
Right.
Okay, so
they rigged.
how does society perpetuate you know, the idea that being silent is what we have to do, and what can we do within our own communities to make sure that we're not creating this narrative as if we have to paint everything as picture perfect, and having ways that we can actually uplift Black women?
For start, I feel like society could first among Black women, I feel like we should be more accepting of one another, because I feel like a lot of times within our community, like if like you see like another like another Black woman that's like successful or something, like a lot of times people, instead of like encouraging, a lot of times people just like hate, or they see them as competition. But you should be like, you should be happy that this is happening, and you should congratulate them.
About that. I feel like when a Black woman expresses like how she feels, she's seen as either too emotional or too aggressive, and just every time like she shows emotion, she's too much of something. So I feel like that's why we tend to like push that down and just put like this tough exterior just to say, okay, I got this, I'm good, like, oh, I'm fine, because that's what I'm used to saying too, because I don't want to be seen as too emotional, especially in a room full of like people that don't look like me, or they're just like male. So they're just like, okay, she's just, you know, PMSing, she's on her period, this, that, and the third. So I feel like that's why, like, we tend to push our emotions down. And until, like, I guess we get over that, it won't really, like,
and a lot
change.
of times people just don't understand because they don't relate. And so they can't, it's not their fault that they don't, like, relate to what we go through. But they really just don't know how to sympathize, I guess. They just don't know.
I feel like going back to the part about the silence, like a lot of times it's like, oh, like what goes on in the house stays in the house. But I feel like if we were able to actually talk about the stuff going on, it could actually like stop a lot of things, or like save people, because like say if somebody in an abusive relationship or something like that, like, and then they die from it, if they would have just like got rid of that mentality of like, oh, what happens in the house stays in the house, they could have been saved. Like sometimes it's not always good to stay silent.
But sometimes that stuff comes from your parents teaching you that
I was just about to say that.
it's not okay to talk about how you feel. It's not okay
What
to
happens in the house stays in the house.
it's not okay to tell anybody else. And so like that just gets passed on, and that's how generation curses like continue to perpetuate in the future, because we're not able to talk about it. We're not able to implement action on how to address the issue. And so nobody feels comfortable in the house, and you feel like you're walking on pins and needles. And so then you end up, and a lot of times one of the phrases that like I hear a lot of from young people is also, I don't want to be like my mom, I don't want to be like my dad. But in that instance, you end up becoming your parents, because you're trying so hard to not be like them, and you end up doing the same mistakes that they did. And so that's also how, you know, generation curses come along.
I think until you learn better. So, like, I was a product of that whole, I said this earlier, what happens in the house stays in the house thing. And I think that's perpetuated by, like, as Amber said, it's fear. It's fear of what's going to happen if what's going on in my household does get out elsewhere, you know. And so I didn't say anything until I got to college. And then once I got to college, now I got it. But that system is still being perpetuated back at home. So I think we keep it going until we know better, and then as everybody always says, once you know better, you do better. But I think for those people that never get to know what better is, then they stay at just being good.
Right. It's funny, I saw like this post, it was like, our community always uses the excuse of like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And they were like, well, I'm cutting this tree down today. Like, it's done, right?
Literally.
That is so funny. And we see the effects that it has on confidence and self-esteem, which is a topic that we bring up earlier today when we highlighted the effects of the things that we went through and how it played a direct role in our life, but we didn't see it until later on when we had the capabilities to evaluate and self-assess what were our feelings at the time. So as we all know, Black women are put down through and through, and they're not viewed as beautiful, and they're not viewed as pretty because their hair is more coarse, or even when there is a certain atmosphere where, you know, natural hair is embraced, it has to be a certain type of natural hair, you know. It got to be the Dominican curly hair, not too right, not too coarse, but you know, we'll get a little rough around the edges, but it got to do a nice little ring.
I came straight from Africa.
So with that being said, like, how do we start to uplift Black girls to see the beauty within themselves, even when they're going through all this trauma and all these things? Because, you know, at least for me, is one of the things that I love about kids is that, you know, they're so resilient. They don't care what people say. They'll say what's on their mind. And they're like that because, like, they don't know what the society is right now, right? But as they grow up, they get socialized. And once they get socialized, they start realizing, wow, I can't say this, or I'm more self-conscious about this, or that, or the third. So how do we break away from making sure that our circumstances don't define who we are and our beauty, and that doesn't define, you know, how we look on the outside and the beauty within our inside? How do you guys go about it in your personal lives, and how do you think that we should be doing that more often?
Well, for me, and it's something that a lot of my mentors, because I'm in politics, so a big aspect of that is going in the community, and especially making sure that we touch our youth and that they have some sort of relationship with us and know that they can one day be like me or greater than me. But part of that is them being able to see themselves in you. And so I know for me, you know, when I go over to the Capitol, some days, depending on who I'm going to talk to, I might have to press and curl my hair. Yeah, you could say I don't have to, but I know the difference of when I do and when I don't. But when I go in elementary school, when I go to work with Black children, oh baby, I'm gonna wear my natural hair, and I don't care if it's a doodle braids under a wig, I'm gonna wear my natural hair. Because a little girl, especially a little Black girl, I remember what it was like for me and how ugly I felt for a long time. And so to go around them, you have to understand that everything they see on you, they're going to want it. They're going to want to emulate that. So I don't wear weave because I know in a matter of time, that's what they're going to want. I don't wear my hair straight because I know in a matter of time, they're going to be looking in the mirror wondering why their hair isn't straight. I don't wear makeup because I know that they're going to go home and try to do something with the makeup. So I go to them in my rawest form. I go to them wearing clothes that they might even wear, and I go to them and I tell them not just words like you're pretty, you're beautiful, but you're powerful. You were made in the image of God. You know, stuff that they need to hear to feel like they can be whatever they want to be. And I know for my mentors, and they're Black males, so they'll go to schools to go read books to kids, and they'll be wearing Air Maxes and like Nike jumpsuits, and seriously, that's what we need to be doing. We need to show these kids we listen to the same music, we do the same things, but I'm a lawyer, but I'm a doctor, but I'm an engineer, and you could do the same thing.
I feel that. I think also being real with the stories that you go through, like not sugarcoating stuff and making it seem much more easier than what it is, because when you put a sugar coating on it, you take away from the authenticity of it. So even when getting to hear some of you guys' stories and realizing how raw and open you guys were willing to be in an intimate setting, that was, that was refreshing and that was rewarding, because a lot of times when we're not in spaces like this, we have to, brush up some parts of the stories. We can't say the whole 9 yard, which sucks, because people are waiting to hear that because they're not confident enough to say it themselves. So honestly, just letting ourselves just say things the way that it is. And I think that in this like political climate, there's just so much, we got to be politically correct, and obviously like that comes with a lot of tensions. But yeah, having more raw conversations, I think, could always help solve that.
Oh, sorry. But I think that's the reason why we have the camera on at one point and the camera off. This is a raw conversation, broken conversation, so I'm not telling y'all it's scripted. But I do think that the Lifeline activity was for an off-camera conversation.
Right.
Specifically because you have to protect your story, too. Everybody's not worthy of hearing your story, because some people will take that and use that as a weapon against you. You're in an intimate setting and you say, this is an insecurity of mine. Okay, next time you do some messed up stuff in leadership, now I'm going to use that insecurity against you. And so that off-camera conversation was really needed in order for us to have the on-camera conversation for everybody else to hear about, what we've been through in a sense that's more ready for the world. I'm definitely not ready for the world to hear my story. This story, I can't even draw a graph. So you have to tell your story, but tell your story where it matters. Don't just be telling your story just to tell your story. Tell your story if you know that it's gonna impact some sort of you. If you know that I'm in a community right now where we're building women right now, we're celebrating womanhood, this is the opportunity and the space to tell that story. I'm not just gonna go outside and scream out my whole life, because at the same time we're telling y'all to share y'all stuff, but also protect it as well, because it is yours. It is something that you are very sensitive about.
So as we're celebrating each other and women from all walks of life, not only this month but every day within this year, what are some ways that you guys practice celebrating yourselves? I'm curious to know. I know we talked about a lot of ways that we had to repair, but I'm curious, and especially from you, sister.
Oh, she called you out. She called you out loud. Okay, little sis. What's good?
Well, one way.
You nervous? Yeah, man.
I celebrate myself is by taking a break from the weave and the makeup and the stuff like that I see like in some ways enhance my beauty, but knowing that in a natural state I still am as beautiful.
Girl, you cute.
Yeah.
I love it. We ain't finna hype you up there.
Right. What about you, Tia?
Well, I can say like an overall experience that I've had that kind of grooms, kind of like the question you asked. Basically, the way that I actually took a break, like a lifestyle break, was I used to wear weave a whole lot. I used to be like really scared to like show my natural hair, stuff like that. And even when I did, it would be like for like 2 days or something like that.
Go right back.
And I actually just took that step coming to college. I actually like held off on it because I was going to do it senior year of high school, but then again I was still like, oh, I don't know what people's going to say about me, because we're still in high school. But I took the actual break and was like, okay, you know what, I need a change. I just need to embrace my natural beauty. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to cut off my hair and just start fresh. So that's just something that kind of impacted me life-wise. So
killed it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? How do you guys practice celebrating yourselves or
self-care?
Self-care.
Oh, sorry.
So
last semester I used to think of self-care as like something that you implement once a week, like you need a designated day. And so this semester, to kind of like heal, I've been trying to do stuff every like week, like every day, implement it every single day. So like I started something, like my beauty brand is honestly to help me. It's like it encapsulates my pains, my struggles. So I felt like it's more personable, it's more relatable, and it's more raw. Like, and so I've been doing videos, like segments every week. And the questions that I actually ask the people in the videos are questions that I answer myself. And so it just kind of helps me, like, heal myself, because it's just, like, I'm actually helping women, like, heal through the things that I'm, like, currently going through. And so it's not to be selfish, it's, or to be, like, self-centered. It's more along the lines of, like, I don't want anyone to experience that. Like, if I can nip it in the bud early, like, that is what I feel like will help me as a person. So, yeah. I think so.
Anybody else?
Like about once a month or a month and a half, me and my mom, we always go get our feet done. We go get our eyebrows done, and like just take time to like do something for us. And then like for me, like at least once a week when I don't have to work or go to class, I just like lay in bed all day. Like, do nothing, which is why I kind of like procrastinated with my essay, because I was just like, no. Every day I was like, I need some time, so I just lay in the bed and like do nothing.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Ooh, can I
Yes.
put, okay.
Yes.
So I treated myself because I have been working pretty hard lately and I've been doing a lot. So I was like, you know what, sis? I think you need a reward. And my thing is, I won't reward myself for a minute, like a good little minute. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to splurge. So I cut my hair on December 14th, and that was the beginning of my natural hair journey. No, that's not. Well, that's the beginning of my big chop. So I was like, I have been transitioning. But I got my little wig. My little, y'all can call me Colombiana. But, you know, yeah. So I was like, you know what? This is what I'm getting for myself.
Stiff wear.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And so, like, I take time in the morning on my appearance because that's how people judge me. You can never get a first impression back. So I was like, that's one of my self-care things, to be like, in the mornings, I might be tired as all get out, but you know what? I'm going to still look good. So this college has been teaching me a lot about, you know, making sure, like, you know, you get your stuff done, but like, your health is very important. Yes. So like, if you going 100 on everything else, on all your work and everything, and your health is draining, like, what's the purpose? You're not gonna reap the benefits.
Right.
So
you can't do nothing without
like, and I have been crashing lately, and I was like,
what's going on?
And it was like, I had to pause. It was like, God was like, you're not taking care of yourself. I was like, bet, you know what? I'm gonna do that some more. So that's been my life lesson. But yeah.
Like that. Anybody else?
Well, for me, when I want to reward myself, I go to Leola's. I think that's how I pronounce it.
Yeah.
I get myself.
Shout out to Leola's.
Yes.
We do not sponsor them.
Unless they want to.
Unless you want
to
Just email me.
But Leola's is a black-owned business, so please check them out.
Snaps on that.
BTH.
Okay, go ahead.
I go by Sally. I steal some aloe because I pay tuition. So I put the aloe in my hair, on my face, and I eat my seafood, and my day is great. So
yeah. Okay, so that's how, you know, some ways that we celebrate ourselves.
What about you?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
You celebrate yourself.
One way I'll celebrate myself.
It's like, you know, our nerves.
Let me see. I like getting my nails done. I love, and I don't do this a lot, but I wish I had more time to. I love watching theater. Like, it makes me so happy. I love seeing plays. I love seeing
movies. Billy and Sally?
No, it wasn't Billy. What?
what's going on?
What? We're not recording though.
No, you're recording on there though.
Okay, so I love technical difficulty, but I love like go seeing plays or what is a good thing? I love to eat. Like I love to eat. I love to eat. Okay. Here's the 2 not twofold, but there's another part to this question. What would you guys would say is one of the biggest things that you would like somebody else, another way for somebody else to show you like celebration or love? I know everybody has different love languages. If you guys haven't taken the love language test, y'all definitely should. Yes. What ways do you guys like to be celebrated? Whether it's a significant other, give some men or women hints. Or your friends, whoever. How do you guys like to be celebrated?
Oh my goodness. I gave this disclaimer before, but my voice is a little hoarse. I think I like being celebrated by like positive affirmation.
Speaking of
positive energy.
Make sure y'all do that.
I've realized, like, in going back to your previous question about like how I do self-care, it's by honestly taking the time out and self-reflecting. And I know that I honestly want the energy that I put out into the atmosphere to be reciprocated by anybody, whether the relationship is like a friendship or you're interested in me or like, just anything. I think I would like positive vibes only. That's it.
Yeah, and it's everybody like the same thing, because usually like with my friends and stuff, we like to do things together. Like if we'll go through a stressful week, we'll like come at the end, like come together and talk and things like that. Like I just like energy, like being with someone like in person, like actually talking to them, like without technology and stuff like that. Actually like talking to them, reflecting about the things. So.
Right,
because the materialistic things to come, like I can get myself that, and then if I can't get it right now, I know my goal is to ultimately be able to get it myself. So don't shower me in like infatuation or by materialistic things. I want good energy. Give me something that I haven't experienced before, because there's a lot of toxic masculinity, and I'm not here to bash our black men, but it's definitely an issue within our community, and I think that going forward, especially within society's age, like it's hard to be positive, especially when people thrive off of negativity, So I think that's
right.
important.
But don't get me wrong, I'll take a Benz.
I'll
take a Benz.
I like quality time.
Quality time?
Yeah, and like treating me to stuff. So like, although I'm #Bayless, if you want to take me, hang out.
Girl, the camera broke.
It's big. Okay, no, I'm so serious. I actually like enjoying having like a laugh, right? And just eat and like
we don't got
enjoy each other's company. I like that, just enjoying each other's company. So.
This is something like that's very simple, but a lot of people don't do it. But just actually telling someone that you appreciate them, because it's like not a lot of people say
that makes a difference.
Tell someone like, hey, I appreciate you. I notice the things that you're doing.
Right.
I notice the changes in you.
Right.
I don't know. Ask them how they are, like why you like this, like I don't know, like ask them.
Right.
Is it okay we like don't know how we receive stuff? Because I feel like
I'm always giving.
And it's not because I give a lot. It's not that at all.
At least you're honest.
Positive. Right. It's okay. A question: is there such thing as being too giving?
Yeah.
No. You give so much. Like there is there's a certain extent. Okay. Completely. How do we determine what's the right amount of givingness?
When you're not taken advantage of. I feel like when you start giving people too much, they start to use you to their advantage. So once you keep giving and giving and giving, to you, it may seem like, oh, you're just doing a nice gesture. To them, after a while, it'll seem like, oh, you're the one that's giving.
Okay, let me just get it.
And we're all talking from experience because,
like giving too much can distract you. You can use like giving someone too much to distract yourself from you, like, and then you're just doing it because you don't want to deal with like the things that you are working through. So
yeah, I was gonna say like when you're giving too much, you're like not getting the stuff that you need to get done.
Right.
You're not the areas that you should be growing in, you're not growing in, but everything you're giving away is helping someone else grow.
Right.
And it's I mean it's bad. But it usually happens to the nicest people and the people who have the heart for it. So.
This is something I had to learn even in relationships, to realize there's a fine difference between giving in relationships and just like pouring yourself into the relationship and not just being your all, you know, like so realizing like even with your significant other there is a thing as being too giving with them, like
it's like when it's 100 to 0, like that's
I ain't say all that. No, I'm joking, but
even 60-40 is bad.
But it will never be 50-50.
It will
never be. That's in my opinion,
gotta be black women.
That's why we gonna always be okay. Wait a minute. Who's gonna take it?
Okay, let's take it. Hold on, let her take it because she ain't gonna say that the rest of the night.
I feel like in a real partnership, and that's even in stuff like businesses, relationship, like internships and stuff like that, you always have to have that equal balance between every like party receiving something to be a mutual beneficial relationship. So it always has to be, I'm gaining something from you, like I'm working for you and I'm learning this in return. So there always has to be that equal like factor for it to work out.
I agree. I don't disagree with you, but I'm saying never ever 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 in my opinion will there ever be a place where it's going to be 50-50 because like, naturally like people are at two different stages. And with that being said, like if in some season I am giving 40 and you're giving 60, that next season I know I'm going to give 70 because you're going to be in a 30 range.
Right.
Because of how you're at. And I'm not saying like it obviously has to be as close as possible to 50-50, but like I never think it's going to ever be like 50-50.
It won't.
Because like that's just not how
everyone's receiving time is going to be different. But when we average this out, it better equal 50-50. Divided by the number of times that just gotta get 50-50.
Okay, explain it.
I'm gonna try to explain it to the best of my ability.
Broken conversation.
Right. I feel like the whole 50-50 or 60-40 things, I feel like in a relationship that starts at the beginning. I feel like at the beginning, if it starts with you giving 60-40, I feel like it won't ever change until there's a talk or it's just an issue. So I feel like it'll never be 50-50.
For me, I feel like it should be 100-100. Like y'all both should be giving your full effort. And
but is that even possible?
I don't know. I have a really good example.
With the right person. With the right person. Go ahead, sis. Because you've been waiting.
And
I called you out.
But I feel like you could tell somebody what you want or like that it's not 50-50 or whatever as many times as you want to. Some people just are not willing to put in that extra percent.
Because they know you're doing it.
And that's what
because you at 100 to 0. Now we at 100 to 0.
They're going to do what they want to do, like, regardless.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I give a really quick example? Like,
hold on. She was about to say something. She said, I think it's important.
Yeah, but I think it's important, like, not the percentages, but the balance itself with the relationship. Yeah. Because ultimately, if I'm going to give you something, whether it's my time or something, it's because I want to give it to you. Mm. It should never be because you feel like I should give you. You know what I'm saying?
Like you owe somebody
something. You should never give with a burdened heart. You know? So if the relationship isn't 50-50, if it works for you in that person, it should work. You know, like that's your relationship. And there's some people like she was saying, like, no, it's going to be 50-50. If I don't feel like I'm giving 50% of what I'm giving out, then it's not going to work. But ultimately, it's like to your discretion, I think. Because like if y'all have a balanced relationship within the relationship, percentages doesn't matter. What I give you shouldn't matter because what you might like or say if it was materialistic, like what if I give you more materialistic things, but I'm not more materialistic? You know, I value something else. So that balance is important too.
And 50-50 and 100-0 and 60-40 is all subjective to how it is. But I think the numbers, when we're explaining it to everybody else, is important for them to have something to pinpoint.
Right.
So, like you said, I value time. My sisters know this. I value time. I value your energy way more than anything else because, like you said, I could buy my own. But that's like the 50. If you gave me all your time, but I gave you all my money, y'all think that's crazy. But I think that is 50-50. You know, other people will be like, girl, you gave him all your money, that's 100-0. Like, what? You know, so I think knowing where your 50-50 and 60-40 is and 100-0 is for yourself is important to know, because you don't need it to be at 50-50, but you really feel like you at 100-0.
I'm curious, is anybody love language is acts of service?
I have been with someone who that's their love language, and it's really hard.
That is my love language. Acts of service, so it's like the best way that you feel loved, like the way that you'll be like, oh my gosh, I feel loved, is when somebody like is doing something for you. It's like either relieving something from your to-do list or like relieving stress from you. Like,
what's funny is her best friend, her sister, and me all laughed.
When I tell you that is my love language,
that is my love language.
It's really hard if you like are with someone who that's their love language and you've never been with someone who that's their love language, or you're the person who's like that, and then now they want that from you, and you're like, wait, I wanted that from you.
Yes,
that's like the Spider-Man meme where they point to each other like, you. Who's gonna do it? So,
how do you take the love language test?
It's online.
We'll do it after the podcast.
Yeah.
We gotta do it after the podcast.
Okay, so kind of wrap this up, y'all. We're gonna be celebrating ourselves all month long, like we already said, and then even after this.
What is tonight? Why we out here?
Okay.
I'll be turning 20 March 11th.
So the rest of the night we're gonna be celebrating each other. We're gonna be celebrating womanhood. We're having a girls sleepover, girls lock-in, whatever you want to call it. Just like all being good vibe, like we was talking about before. Tomorrow we have a women's brunch. You know, we're at a brunch end. So just to wrap this up, we're committed to each other. We're committed to ourselves. Where do you guys see yourself in 5 years? How does that commitment, where does that commitment take you? I know there's never an end set goal, but where do you guys see yourself in 5 years? What would be your ideal place?
In 5 years, I hope to be graduated from FSU, and I'm starting my career as being a PA or a doctor.
Yes.
You were first, baby. You was confident,
Of
sweetheart.
course, because I started high school, got my 8A. Like, I'm
ready for this. Trying to run you your check.
Yes, everybody's answering this question.
Yes.
I see myself graduating dental school and starting my residency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Free, clean teeth.
All right. So, graduating from FSU, on the journey to my PhD in management, I definitely want to be in the fashion field, you know, making scenes and traveling the world and stuff like that. But
Yes. In 5 years, I guess I see myself traveling for one, and two, probably like grad school, like overseas.
Yes.
Well, in 5 years, in 1 year, I'll be graduating from FSU.
yes!
God, but I want to go to law school after, so 3 years. So 5 years, I definitely see myself practicing law in West Palm.
in West Palm?
In West Palm.
Back home. I see myself graduating from graduate school and like in my career.
Yes.
In 5 years, I see myself being a certified recreational therapist and also opening a business with my sister for recreational therapy and also mentorship with little kids.
Yes.
In 5 years, I see myself graduating from law school, practicing law, and also continuing advocacy on the state, local, and federal level, and still being single. Wow. I don't want no kids. So.
No sister agrees with this. I'm trying to get to a wedding. Everybody says what? So, broken conversations, I'm sorry, but we're going to break your heart. That's not a part of the plan.
On a different note, you're already in a relationship. 5 years, I see myself within the same relationship I am in now.
Okay.
JK! That's my sister-in-law.
Right, in-law. Now you done did that already. You can't do this.
Okay, so I see myself doing that. I see myself traveling. I see myself graduated and hopefully practicing modeling.
Yes.
Okay. 5 years from now, of course, obviously, everyone wants to be successful. However, I personally...
You don't?
No.
Right. What you thought?
You want to get a hold on that.
You thought you had to keep
Let me get it out.
what you were saying.
Let me get it out. Everyone wants to be successful. However, of course, I do too. But on a personal note, I just want to be content with myself and being able to be passionate about something that I really want to do with my life. Because as of now, I'm completely lost.
So Chris not in plans. Okay, great.
That's real. That's real.
She was in that
Chris not in the plans.
Oh wait, she's in the.
You thought you had to keep it.
Right,
You thought. Go ahead, Miss Aubrey.
So, 5 years, that's a long time.
Right, she was deep.
I did too. I was like, okay.
In 5 years,
I'm about to leave in 2 years.
I'll be done with undergrad. Hopefully, I got a second degree. Don't know if that's going to be a master's, a JD, or both. Then, I'm kind of in my career kind of now, but hopefully I'm officially in my career.
There we go. There we go.
Right. If you know what I mean.
Point to the camera.
Listen, you heard it here first.
Just out serving the people, helping people, uplifting our people, and making sure that our community, our state, and the life that we live is the best that it can be. And then also hopefully being financially stable to where I can support myself, maybe throw a little something to my mama, then throw a little something more to my grandma, have my ship under control, because college is a haze. So we'll see.
I keep trying to tell people. I'll go to college.
Scam too. It's a scam. Don't
do it.
Unless you're engineering.
I ain't gonna say that, but
meanwhile, we all in college.
I ain't gonna say that.
No. Exactly. Everybody in here.
Don't plan on dropping out.
You gotta stay in. I'm coming back to whip your ass if you drop out.
Okay.
But I'm still
So in 5 years, definitely see myself, just continuing to walk in my purpose. As a multifaceted entrepreneur.
Yes.
And definitely creating a platform for other women to have the opportunities that I have now and that I will be able to accept in the future. So.
Go ahead, Sean. Are you too?
So mine is literally almost identical to hers. So of course, being a full-on entrepreneur, specifically walking in my purpose. And right now, I'm on that track to finding my I have a purpose, but now I have to expand my purpose into all of my creative endeavors. So that, and then also being financially stable. That is something that I have to be very big on. And then what else? Just being successful. And that's actually being content with my mental state, my physical state, and my emotional state, making sure that I am still a God-fearing woman, of course.
Yes.
Still maintaining my faith, and also traveling. Traveling is going to be really big for me. So.
Oh, I would like to see myself in 5 years graduated with my master's and do speech language pathology and do community service on like a global level and just like what?
Oh, I'm counting at my 5 years.
Yeah, and just doing more service and like within like my major, so with like speech therapy, like going to like other countries and doing things like that and seeing how like ear hygiene works. I know, not exciting, but that's what I want to do.
Somebody gotta do it.
All right. In 5 years, I hope to have my master's in education, hopefully going for my PhD, either in education, criminology, or sociology, or y'all know how people be having majors and 5 minors. So that'll probably be me in my PhD program. Also, like Amber said, to mimic what she said, I want to be mentally healthy and stable. Y'all heard my mom just died a year ago. So therefore, with graduation coming up, there's going to be a lot that I'm going through in the next phase. And so I want to make sure that I don't perpetuate a cycle for my children. So therefore, continuing counseling and ensuring that throughout my life that I am healthy. That's what I want. Even for 5 years from now, I want to not be insane. That is a very big thing for me.
Amen. Okay. So, thank you guys for tuning in with this special podcast series. Wait, what?
She's over here.
Have y'all had fun at the sleepover night?
This was an exclusive event. Let me stop. But no, like I'm so excited because like this was able to come together because of you guys. So like this podcast is going to continue doing things like this, and then our women's brunch is going to be even more amazing tomorrow. If you're not on the wave, you're not on it. That's it.
Can we do IG?
But until next time, bye guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Stop.